Hi guys, this is Fernando doing another video for the Motor Survivalists. Keeping up with the survival kits videos. This is another kit I'm going to be showing. This is the one I usually throw in my EDC bag. You've probably seen this bag before in one of my EDC videos, and I didn't go into much detail because I said at that time that I'd be doing a video showing the content more thoroughly. Well, this is the case. The bag is simply a bag that I had back when I used contact lenses. I got my eyes fixed with LASIK, and it's been a great thing to do. Pretty happy with the decision and the results. But I still had the bag, so it's practical so as to throw into different bags. I changed lots of the things I use daily because I try different items, different products, and see how they do. So when I'm changing from one bag to another, I just throw the small kit into the one I'm using that day, and it keeps things simple. So inside the bag I mean, you could probably do better than this. It's not great material or anything. It's not ripstop, it's not Cordura or anything like that. So if you have a better bag, by all means do it. This is just, guys, just take what is useful for you, the ideas that work for you, and leave the rest. If you have better ideas, better items, just go for them. Respirator, this one is collapsible, folds nicely in here, and it's one of the ones that fits better in different types of faces. Usually you will need different respirators for different faces, small faces and such, and this one is pretty practical because it fits. I found it, I used respirators quite a bit during the flu problem last year, and this year it's looking pretty intense as well. There's lots of people getting sick. I have my kids home. It's everyone is sick around here. So if you're in populated areas and you need to go to them, you could reduce significantly the chances of getting sick by using one of these. Guys, in Japan they do it all the time. You see the Japanese folks using them. They're not self-conscious about it, so if it works for you, go for it. There's also many other applications for this as well. Right now there's the problem with the ashes in southern Argentina. People are really putting these type of masks to good use. Some people are taking advantage of the problem and selling them for exorbitant prices. So it just verifies that it's an important thing to have a way of ensuring breathable air for yourself. Basic stuff in your kit: respirator. If you don't have this, you're really missing one of the key ingredients of thorough preparation with it, which is having the 3 minutes of air, which you cannot live without. Ensure those by having a respirator with you. I kept the old bag, but it started breaking, so I also added one of these Ziploc bags, which is more resistant. Enough of that. Let's go into it and see what we have. In here we have a small pry bar. It's small, but it's still bigger than one I have in my keychain, so it could be useful. Another Ziploc bag, and I'm starting to hurry up a bit because we don't have much time, and there's lots of stuff to show. These bags, as you see, they get used up pretty fast, so keep that in mind. Duct tape. 1,000 of different uses. You must have one of those. Some candy. This one is pretty old. I should be replacing this one. One thing that I keep in mind is when I go from summer to winter, and the weather changes. I mean, it's during winter time. It's smarter to have a bit of chocolate, which it's nice as an emergency food during winter. In summer, chocolate can be messy, so it's better to have candy, but this is kind of getting old, so I need to replace it as well. One of the emergency blankets, a headlight, and the spare batteries for it. This ensures many hours of light, and since it's a headlight, it's also leaving your hands available in case, if you ever use much of your kit at one time or another, you probably noticed that if you have, for example, if you have a car problem and you have to fix your car in the middle of nowhere and you're relying on your lamp, your flashlight, you soon see that you need one more hand because one is being spent using the flashlight. Having a headlamp such as this it's really an advantage. So I do dig headlamps such as this one or better. I have several around, and that's why I keep one in my kit. This is Tecnora Rope. It's very thin, but it withstands like 400 pounds. It's amazing the amount of weight this rope can withstand. It's incredible. So thin and yet so resistant. This is Tecnora, folks. You can Google it up and learn a bit more about it. As you see, the stuff I carry in my kits, it's always changing and such, and that's the way it should be, because there's always new stuff such as this coming up in the market, and you may be finding that it's quite an addition to your kit, and you may want to keep that in mind for other reference as well. Always stay updated on what's out there in the market. I mean, don't buy every piece of stuff that comes out, every single thing that comes up. But these sort of things, these sort of technological breakthroughs and advantages, same thing with LED lights. There's things that it's worth your time and money. I think that's quite a nice addition. The Altoids Kit in itself, this is the more typical stuff you will find in a survival kit. You have the small knife, very small knife, but still useful. Locks well. It's not great, but it is okay. It does work for what's intended, keeping in mind its small size. So, small knife. We have LED light again. We have a lighter. Works. Check all this stuff often. Lighters, they dry up. Maybe they got pressed by accident, or when you shut the kit. You have to check them and make sure it's all okay. The matches, sometimes they're great as well. Potassium Permanganate, this is used for purifying water in a bit more of an amount. If the water starts looking more purple, then that's good for cleaning wounds. In combination with other products, it's even good for starting fires as well. So do some research. I have some articles on potassium permanganate in my website, and you will learn some of the different applications this great product has. Compass, small one button, a few coins for phone calls in case sometimes you find those public phones, they're not as common as they used to be now with cell phones, but eventually sometimes you find one, and having a few coins, it's just allowing you to make a phone call and maybe getting yourself out of trouble. Here we have a bag. As before, this would be for carrying water and using your crystals for purifying it, and you also using sunlight as well, UV light for greater purification of your water. Pain pills, these would be a bit harder to get in USA. Here it's much simple, but matches as well, strike anywhere matches, but I still added a small striker as well, just in case. Some salt, thread, and I have a few needles here. This is good for fixing clothes, and something that happened to me, and it came very handy. If your backpack starts breaking or falling apart, or it gets damaged in some way, having thread and needle and being able to repair it, that's a great advantage. Duct tape, as great as it is, it's not thread and needle, and it's not as good for fixing packs and such. Some floss, which could also be used for cordage. Some more thread over there. Make sure it's good unbreakable thread, the kind that withstands a good amount of tension. Don't buy cotton stuff that it so easily breaks apart. Buy good polyester thread. I think it's called unbreakable thread. Some wire, small amount of it, but I've found it to be pretty useful. A small pen for writing. What are these called? Bobby pins. This would have in some cases a similar application such as wire, but if you know how to pick locks, and having a couple of these, some of the more simple locks with just these two, you could pick them if you know how to do it. And you know, it's one of those things, one of those little skills you could add to your skill set, knowing how to pick locks. Some bandages here. These epoxy strips that are great. I haven't seen these in USA, but these are outstanding. These are made by I think they're called Poxitas around here. Poxitas, you can Google it up as well. Haven't seen anything similar in the American market, but there probably is. It's like a band-aid, but just a thick version of what you see on duct tape. Much more sturdier, and the glue, it's great. It sticks really great. It's sometimes used for hoses that are leaking and such. Very good product. Some paper for taking notes, for leaving messages, making annotations of your own. Some sandpaper for sharpening knives. Now, if the situation gets more extended and you need to sharpen your blade, a bit of sandpaper makes sharpening a knife much easier. And we have another band-aid, and we have some money, which is, you know, one of those tools we use daily, and it's probably one of your most versatile tools in this kit, all things considered. You know, money, it really takes little space, very thin, but you know, money comes in very handy in so many occasions. It just doesn't make sense not to include it, so that's why it is there. So guys, yet another kit that I have shown to you. You know, keep all this in mind for making your own kits. I think this one is pretty complete, and that's why it's the one I carry with me in my EDC bag. It has many things that could be handy in so many different situations. So that's gonna be it for now, guys, and remember to subscribe, and I'm gonna be doing a bit more kits in further videos. Take care and see you on the next video.